Hello guys, today I'll be recording my first chess video. This video is about traps in the Scotch game and variations. I always play either the Scotch Gambit as my opening if I'm white. I'll be posting a video about the Scotch Gambit if this video gets at least 5 likes. Also, remember to subscribe. Let's start. So, the Scotch game starts with e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, d4, e takes d4, and knight takes d4. After these 5 moves, there are 5 different things that black can play. We will look at all of them. The first one starts with knight to g to e7. We respond with knight to c3, supporting these 2 center squares and developing a piece. Black does g6, which is a bad move because it creates these weak spots in black's kingside. White moves the bishop to take control of the weak spots and pin the knight to the queen. Black brings out his bishop to prevent bishop to f6 attacking the rook. White moves his knight to d5 to put pressure on this pinned knight and to strengthen the center even more. Black takes the knight in the center to remove one of the attacking pieces. White takes back with the queen. While this may look like a blunder, black cannot take on d4 because of knight to f6, check, king to f8, bishop to h6 mate. So black is forced to castle because the queen is attacking the rook on h8. Now there's a mate in 5 for white. White plays knight to f6 check, king to h8, knight to g4 check, knight takes d4, bishop to f6, king to g8, and knight to h6 mate. Now we will be looking at the second move that black can play in the starting position of the Scotch. Bishop to e7 develops his bishop, getting ready to get the knight out in castle. White responds with bishop to c4, strengthening the center and attacking the pawn on f7. Play continues with knight to f6 castle. Then black takes the d4 knight, which is a bad move, because then queen takes d4, and now white's queen is in the center. Black plays d6, thinking of getting the bishop on c8 or the queen out, but this move blocks the other bishop on e7. White plays f4, getting even more attackers in the center. Black plays b6, and he might be trying to get the bishop out. White starts attacking with e5. Black plays d5 to attack the bishop. This is a mistake, because white can now play bishop to b5 check. Black blocks the check with bishop to d7, but now white can take the knight with the pawn. It may seem like black has a good move here. They can play bishop to c5, pinning the queen to the king. It looks like white has lost their queen, but white can play rook to e1 check. If the c5 bishop blocks, the pawn can take it. And the d7 bishop is pinned to the king and cannot block the check. The king is forced to go to f8, and black is threatening to take white's queen. White has a mate in 2 though. All they have to do is f takes g7 check, king to g8, and g takes h8 queen mate. This one is my favorite variation because of this beautiful checkmate with 2 queens and how unexpected it is if you were black. The next variation that black can play is queen to h4, putting pressure on the f2 pawn and attacking white's center e4 pawn. White plays knight to c3. This protects the pawn on e4. Black plays knight to f6 to attack the e4 pawn even more. White plays knight to f5 to attack the queen, so it moves to h5. White keeps kicking the queen with bishop to e2. If black plays queen to g6, then white plays knight to h4, trapping the queen, so black is forced to play knight to g4. White can now take the knight, attacking the queen. Now the queen moves to g6, and white plays knight to d5 to trap the queen. All these red squares are the places the queen can go, and in all of them it can be kept immediately, except for if it goes to e6. The queen is still lost, because after knight takes g7 check, bishop takes g7, bishop takes e6, and f takes e6, they've traded a queen and a pawn for a knight and a bishop. The fourth variation for black is bishop to c5, developing a bishop and putting pressure on white's main knight. White plays c3 to protect the knight. Black plays knight to f6 to attack the center pawn. Black is mostly looking to control the center at this point. White plays bishop to g5, pinning the knight down. Black castles. White plays bishop to c4, getting ready to castle. Black plays queen to e7, still trying to take over the center. White castles to unpin his e4 pawn and gets his king in a safe spot. Black takes the e4 pawn. White plays bishop to takes f6. After g takes f6, white moves his bishop back to kick the queen. Black has to play bishop to h4. Queen to h4. White plays knight to f5 to keep kicking the queen. Black plays queen to g5. h4 is the best move here for white. Queen is forced to go to f4. If it goes to g6, then white can play knight to e7 check, winning the queen. After queen to f4, white plays g3, continuously making the queen move away from the king. After queen to e5, white can play queen to g4 check, king to h8, and queen to g7 checkmate. Now for the final variation. In the opening, black can play knight to f6 to attack the center pawn. We respond with knight takes c6, messing up their pawns after bishop b takes c6. We play e5 to attack their knight. They move knight to e4. We play knight to d2 and keep kicking their knight, and after knight takes d2, bishop takes d2. Our position is way better. They don't have any pieces out, and their pawns are doubled, and we have a bishop and a pawn out with a strong pawn structure. Well guys, that's it for this video. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe. Remember, if we get 5 likes, I'll post another chess video. See you later.